Hello everyone, this is Jay High from Couch and Keyboard, and we are back after a full day of Full House Siege. This was the Invitational that was hosted in Pennsylvania, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an amazing event. I went over each of the first 2 days already, to where they had side events first day, where they did singles for all like the VIPs and stuff. They did a PM bracket that Rat Monster won. They did a doubles bracket yesterday, which only a few of the invited players actually entered. You had like Rat Monster, Salt, Cody, H-Box. Not very much in terms of top level doubles with the players, but I mean it was still decent. You had a few good teams here with Freezus and Hoborg and Beckman and Younger. Kind of providing challenges Rishi and June as well. Some people kind of got. I guess Saucy Man too got top 8, but yeah. So I think that it was pretty good for the most part in terms of side events. I went more in depth in my first video. I'll probably have them linked below. In terms of pools, I thought that it was ran very very well. I really liked the progressions and how they got it to go. They even made a nice little bracket of it, or a graphic rather, with kind of like how it was supposed to go. And like later on, it's hard to kind of keep that in line. They had to rotate some things around here, and they kind of had to, like sometimes you had to fit. But if someone won and then lost, they should play someone that lost and then won that has the same record. So they did that instead of just a random shuffle, like some like big esports would just do random, or like they'll like draw it out of a hat or like picking or whatever. I think it should be to where you play someone like if you lose in winners quarters, you don't go to losers top 12 playing another person that also lost in winners quarter. You play someone that won their losers top 16 match, and you kind of fit together. So it's just like a bracket and how it fits together that way. And so that ran very well. Lots of entertaining sets. Really enjoyed it. I had mentioned that I don't think that the final bracket was seated correctly. It's not a huge deal. I think that it was just a little bit suboptimal. Here's the results. Very good bracket. Really entertaining. There's a few things I wish happened differently. A few different players. I wish J-Mook and Zane did better. Rock Monster too. But still really cool. I really enjoyed it. High level melee. Great to see. I do think that this should have been seated differently. If you look here, this is like pretty much like winter semis here. You have Cody versus Zane, you have HBox versus Joshman. I think that these should have been prioritized to have been separated. Both Joshman and Zane made it into the 3-1 tier in terms of winning these. So you didn't have to have any kind of risk of like any of these winter semis people losing twice and then making it in 3-2 and then have that. Like it would be reasonable to have these be the top 4 seeds. I understand they wanted to have it to where for final bracket you would have 3 and then 4-5, and then if that were the case, you would want Salt and Joshman to not play because they played in Swiss, and you have the 3-2 players be 6 beating J-Mook, 7 and then 8 being Moki here. But I think you could have switched this. I kind of laid it out here to where. Let's see. So I kind of had the scenarios of what it could have been. These were the 8 players and winners. So I think you should focus on seeding winners first, and then kind of seed losers accordingly. So Cody could have played Moki or J-Mook. HBox could have played Moki, J-Mook, or Rap M. Any of the 3-2ers, because these 2 are the top 2 seeds. This is 3 through 5 technically. This is 6 through 8 technically. So 2 of these players should play against each of these. So Cody already played Rat Monster, so you're not going to have a rematch there. Short of it, these are all the possibilities without having an immediate repeat matchup. There's always going to be a chance kind of how this goes, because you have people that played a lot of sets, like J-Mook and Moki both making it in, makes it a little bit more challenging, because there's a likelihood that they would be on the same side at some point. So it's impossible to make this perfect, but I think that it should be a priority to put Josh on the opposite side of HBox, Zane on the opposite side of Cody. Now, I said this earlier before the bracket started, but like Zane had a very repetitive bracket because he played Cody twice and Wizzy twice. I think it's more interesting to guarantee that we have more unique matchups to where you are on the opposite side. You are one of the higher seeds. You can switch to, like, instead of doing 3 and then 4-5, it would be like 3-5 and like 4-6. You were already shuffling things around. And yeah, it benefited HBox by having an easier bracket. They were still close sets. It's not, and he beat Cody, so it's not like he was just handed a free top 3. Like, he earned it. But I do think in terms of more so like diversity of high level sets, I think that you benefit a lot from having these, because sometimes you don't even have these sets. When you do 4 random pools of 4, you have no different matchups. One plays 8, 9, 16. That's the same thing, just one extra set than how it is in double elim, where one plays 16 and then the winner of 8 and 9. You just guaranteed to play both of them instead of the winner. So it is better to do this because you guarantee you only have 2 people max going winless. You only have 2 people going lossless, I guess, to where you have more high-level sets. So you might as well benefit from this and put these people on the opposite side. I understand, again, if you want to do the 3 and then the 4-5, but like, we can get a little bit creative here. We don't need to act like Salt, Josh Man are way above Jmook, Rapim, and Moki. Like, these are all very close. And yeah, it would be technically harder for some sides. I guess theoretically, it would be a little bit more challenging for the 2 seed, because it would be 4 and 6 instead of that, or like even like. It could have been like 3 and 6, technically, I guess. So depending on how you like, you could argue that that's not how it should be set up, but I think it should be a priority to diversify the highest level sets, because technically these were the highest level sets on paper, because these are the 4 players that went, through these 2 and got to this point. So they and these 2 won right after anyway. So I think they should be considered the top 4 seeds. You put them 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you make sure you're on the opposite side. That's my opinion. This was still fine. Obviously, like, they're not going to be like, oh man, I have to, like, yeah, this was a pretty tough bracket. You have 4 of the top 5 on the last year's rank on the same side. But obviously, Zane was 5 seed. Moki was like 7. Like, Jmook was like 3 seed. Or 4. Jmook was 4, HBox was 3. So, like, on paper, it's not as bad as it seems because of recent results. And I'm not even saying because of that. Like, I think it was kind of an eyesore because it was like, dang, Cody and Zane on the same side again. But, yeah, that's just my opinion. Not a huge deal, just kind of like, and again, this is not even necessarily a wrong decision. It's just, I think it prioritizes the wrong things. And I would want to prioritize having the technically top 4 seeds, if you want to look at it that way, being all spread out. But it's okay. In terms of predicting, I did not do too hot. I predicted this to happen, where Zane to win over Cody, with Jmook and HBox also getting top 4, Wizzy Rapim getting 5th, Josh Moki getting 7th, or Sunsei Salt Magi getting 9th, and Dark Gen X Saucy Main Dawson Nunn getting 13th. I was correct on the 13th placers, which was not super surprising. Nunn did pretty well, getting a Dawson win and a Rab Monster win, which, yeah, okay, you say Falcon Luigi, but like, I wouldn't have expected Nunn to win that, especially because Rab Monster beat Wizzy right after. But Nunn did lose to Aura, which I was like, Nunn was seated above Aura, I think, for matchup purposes, which is fine. 12 and 13 are going to probably play anyway, losers, and Aura won that. Aura playing Salt like 45 times in the past year. It means something, But yeah, I was right here. I was halfway for these. Aura and Salt did better. Shoutouts to Oregon, doing pretty good there. I was right with Sunsei and Magi. And then Joshman and Moki were playing, so I was guaranteed to get one right, and Joshman barely lost there. Rat Monster didn't do too hot, just got outside of top 8 again. I think Rat Monster will get a top 8 this year. Pass House is next week, so we'll probably see a top 8 from him there. Wizzy, very good day 2. Day 1, or I guess of the official bracket, day 2 of the event was not good. Final day, Wizro played great. and getting 4th place. I was a little bit off about H-Box, really off about J-Mook. J-Mook did not play good day 2. Cody won the event, Zane got 5th. Sometimes Zane just kind of gets those, doing fine and then loss. Having it out of the blue happens at Genesis. Unfortunately, having to run into Cody and losers there. But yeah. So my predictions, I was adding all these up, kind of like the the separation from 0. I used to teach math. I forget what it's called. Absolute value. There it is. So there was 20 spots off, and there's 16 players. So I was 20 divided by 16. I was 1 1/4 off per player. Got 7 out of 16 right. Not my best job ever of predicting. That's okay. In terms of how I think the event went overall, I do think it went well. I really like the commentators. I mean, we had like Vish, Toph, Junebug, Homemade Waffles, Ziff. We had Chroma and Jackzilla, Stewed. We had other people hop on, like Cody, Nunn, Aklo, who Aklo was there as a VIP. I did mention Junebug was also on the mic a little bit of Pengu too. Really good mix of people. Toph was a little sick. So early on, he was kind of coughing and like snorting a lot. But later on, it was fine. Like ultimately, if you don't like the commentary, you can always mute it and still watch the gameplay. So I don't think commentary is a terrible thing. Like it's okay if it's not the best. Like you can still watch it. Started out like 4K views. Like doing better than day 1. Because people usually check it out later in the bracket. I think Swiss was a more entertaining part of bracket than like the losers round 1 and all that. But I get it. People are like, okay, I want to see the more consequential stuff. Not like all the confusing whatever. Like, and then later on we had about 8,000 views. I think I got up to like 12K or something. But yeah, there was a few breaks here and there. I think it was fine. Which confused me about the day 1 breaks. I think that was kind of strange. If the breaks were so short today, I'm not sure why the day 1 breaks for like the side events had to be so long. But it's whatever. You had other people like Beckfin talking about Ice Climbers with Dark Gen X. Stu knew a lot about Luigi and Falcon. I feel like today the commentators were more prepared about knowing more details about stuff. I don't know what it was, but like some people were just like, I don't know who these guys are. And it's like, come on, man. It's not hard. But they did a lot better with that. They had skits, and the skits were pretty good. I liked them. The 3 of them are right here. Moki Supreme is my favorite. It just feels like the new summit, where it's like really fresh, like really cool, a lot of high effort stuff. I liked it the best. Cody's Apple felt like old summit, where it's like kind of silly. It's like, it's not gonna make you like die laughing, but it's a little absurd. It had Cody and Nunn in there. That was kind of funny because Cody pressed the no tip option on Nunn because they have a little bit of beef. And then Cody and Jamie were talking about it after, having fun with it. It's like, it's cool, I think it's fun to be able to kind of, have that, have a little bit of like, okay, you get your spot in the your time in the spotlight, stuff like that. Which Cody had one with W, the Ludwig and Slime skit with him. So that was cool. And then this one was interesting. I didn't see it live. I just realized it was uploaded because they said it had 3 skits, and yeah. So this one was like, I think it was supposed to be a little bit ironically funny because there were times where it's like, this is a slow burn, like this is a bit long, but it's fine. I think it is. It was fine. These are all good skits. I don't think any of them did a bad job. I think that Moki Supreme is probably the best. But it's hard to do skits. Like my videos are not that not that edited. You sometimes never edited. So like the editing process and getting through all this, like the sound was a little bit off on this one, but it's fine. Like I'm not too picky. I think that effort is cool. And even if it's not something that's like movie quality, look, it's made in the weekend, guys. We don't have these high expectations where it's going to be like a movie trailer, like legitimately. Just because some of them for Summit were so high quality, they had an extra day too. sometimes 2, because they had a media day on Wednesday sometimes. So considering the circumstances, these were very good. But yeah, I really like seeing it. So yeah, the actual bracket itself, I feel like it was pretty fair in terms of how they did it. They made sure they had it to where they did it in a certain way to like kind of spread out, not have people play back to back. They had some of the stuff, they had players playing pretty close. Like Moki had to play Cody pretty close after. They didn't give a break here, which is like, it's kind of expected. Like, you're not going to have a 30-minute break at Genesis. But it was like, okay, it is something that's challenging to come from losers semis to losers finals and then potentially to grands if you win that. That is something to where it's like, okay, like you don't have that time to grind out the matchup for half an hour, if not longer. Like, you know, you're going to have to stay on your toes, which I don't think Moki would have been upset. Like, he's good at the Fox Ditto, he's good at Falcon, he's good at Pop. Like, these are like probably his 3 best matchups. So I don't think that necessarily would have been terrible. But it is something to where endurance is a big thing. You have a lot of sets. That is a big thing in Melee. You don't just have your one set, I'll see you tomorrow. Like you have a lot. It is pretty demanding. It's a marathon. And yeah, I did really like it. The YouTube stream, it wasn't really modded at all. There was, especially with some people like when Magi and Saul were on stream, there was some transphobic stuff and like that wasn't really fun to see. It's like, okay, I'm just not going to engage with it. In terms of like, I think that commentary is doing a good job about like breaking through the norms and saying, okay, why is this happening? Why is this matchup this way? Because like we've seen so much. We've seen like, okay, apparently Luigi Marth is really bad, but Rat Monster keeps beating Zane. Why is that the case? It's not just like, I used to like see these matchups as like, oh, Falcon has long legs, so he beats Peach. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Like that is not like, yeah, that certainly helps, but there's no indication of why that's true. And I would sometimes use that logic where I'm like, in Ultimate, I was like, oh, Pikachu beats Ike, and they're like, and some people were like kind of questioning that. They're like, what do you mean by that? It's like, well, Pikachu beats Marth, and I thought Ike was bad. And it's like, early on, Ike was pretty solid, so I was like, hold on, like, don't just assume this match is bad because you told this character's good, this character's bad. Like, look at the tools, and like something to where like, talking about like how Salt was playing the matchup, and Salt was like against Jmook, she's like, I shouldn't nair as much, and I was like, huh, I thought that Falcon nair was like the free neutral tool, and like, yeah, it's really good in Melee, but like against Sheik, who can crouch really low, or like sometimes can kind of like, you know, you can fair like Falcon's head, you can get above the legs or whatever, and like nair 2, the second part is really long and want the stronger hit. But it takes longer to get out. You probably want to do maybe like a knee instead. I think knee comes out before Nair 2 is out. Or like, you know, like retreating back air, or like crouch cancel grab. Like other things to where you're playing it differently, not just like, I'm going to press my buttons that I do because I'm this character. Like, and, you know, me being a Marth main, seeing Zane, like, you have to play matchups differently. You can't play every matchup the same. Not every matchup is a Fox. You have to, like, I think that really gave a cool glimpse. For me, and I mean, I've been around the Melee block for a while now. So I imagine for people that are really new to it, it's like, okay, hearing those specific ways of how you can simplify how you play the matchup differently. Not, okay, just do these 2 options and you win. Like, okay, here's something that I did differently than other sets. And I think that is super valuable, even for like good players. You know, like Nun and Stude were talking about Falcon and how like people are really good at punishing down B, and like talking about how like things happen in neutral, and like Aura would talk about like Peach Falcon right after, and then like Cody was always down to talk about his stuff sometimes. Like it wasn't necessarily about the play. Like I really liked his analysis during pools. I guess he didn't do it quite as much today, but yeah, I think that having a little bit more, like obviously they've been doing the classic where I think like Summit 6 was when they started doing it more, where they were like, okay, pull on Ginger to the couch when Mango's playing, or like have someone like Rishi on when Zane's playing, like have someone that plays the character, because it used to be like every commentator was a Fox or a Falcon, where it's like, I don't know what Peach Sheik does, like you have like this kind of bias, you know, and having someone not even just necessarily being biased, but like being more knowledgeable, because it's like you can play Melee for a long time. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I have a grab as Peach against a Luigi at 40. Like, I don't know which way I'm throwing. Like I guess throw up, but I don't know. Like, you have different ways of okay, this is what I'm looking for, and that is super beneficial because like Melee matchups are so unique. Like platform fighters in general, the matchups themselves are very unique in how you play them. Traditional fighters and other esports are a little bit more like simplified. Like, you care a lot more about frame data and range, just like objectively. While there's a lot of details, and you can talk about like, okay, Falco Laser turns DK around, so like that's something that you have to do differently as DK. You can't just do your thing as whatever. Like, you have to, like, because usually DK wants his back turn because of back air and stuff like that. And so like you have to be more specific about these things. And I think that was cool. In terms of conditions, apparently the room was pretty cold, which is like, okay, we've gotten to the point to where it's like, if you don't have the ability to adjust to certain things nearby, then like, especially if you're a top player like this, then that's kind of on you. Obviously, you should want to do better. It's not like they made the room cold on purpose. It was a theater, so maybe they were like keeping it cold because they assumed body heat would make it warmer, and maybe it wasn't as warm as they expected it to be. But yeah, I don't think it affected people too much. I think none was a little bit affected by it, but it wasn't that big of a deal. There's also the theater there, and the players were really close to the seating. I feel like you probably could have separated them a little bit, but ultimately I don't think it really affected anyone too much. Top 8 was exciting. Wizard of Aura was another banger set like they had at Genesis. I'm not big on Falcon or on Fox Dittos. I realized we didn't have a single Falcon Ditto all tournament, and we had 3 Falcons in there, so that's kind of surprising. A lot of Fox Falcon, a lot of Fox Dittos. Wizrobe Zane had the run back. We had some, H-Box had a little bit of, did he play a Fox in Bulls? I guess he played Josh Man. Yeah, he played Aura, then he played Magi, then he played Josh Man. So there's a little bit of diversity in matchups and stuff like that. So I think it was fine. I think I would have liked to have seen J-Mook and Rat Monster, or even like Magi, like in top 8. But it was still cool. Everyone was guaranteed 4 sets, and most people got more than that. So I think it was really cool. I have a slight disagreement with how it was seated, but it was really good overall. I think that this is like how Invitational should be. Now Invitational was also good. I think the 2 round pools of 8 is better than the 4x4, but I feel like there's just like so many matches in pools that it kind of feels like each one doesn't have as much weight. Well, for this one, like, you have a lot more weight per set, and it's not much of an endurance. Like, oh man, like you have a little bit more. Like, I feel like it's kind of a balance between the two. In terms of player accommodations, I don't think Now's Invitational was necessarily bad at it, but this seemed to be people were praising it a lot, and a lot of people really enjoyed this event. They had like skits and all that. They had really good food apparently, like just good accommodations overall. So apparently people really enjoyed this event in person. I really enjoyed it from watching at home. And yeah, this was a very good weekend. There's also House of Pain, where Zamu won that over Slow King, I believe. That was pretty interesting. I just checked that. We have Pat's House coming up. A lot of people are going to Pat's House. I saw it was like Zane, Rat Monster, H-Box. I think Cody is taking, Schrodinger's retired player, I guess. But Cody is not going to be attending as much. He already had committed. But this looks to be a pretty top-heavy bracket. I mean, we have several invited players, plus some of the best that weren't, where you have like Crudo and Axe. Crudo being top 10 in the summer last year, Axe being like number 6 or number 7, depending on which ranking you're looking at. He was number 6 for the official panel-based ranking, but for Lucky Stats, they had him a 7, so they invited J-Mook instead. S2J, Lucky, like this is going to be a SoCal tournament, so we get to see some classic ones. Spark coming back. Spark has been starting to do pretty good. J-Mook also coming, so we'll see if J-Mook can have a better one. Yeah, this is looking like a very good bracket. Also have rivals here, so we'll see a little bit of crossover there. So I'm excited to see this. Not quite to the Summer of Smash, a little bit early for that, but I'm very curious to see how. So HBox had a great event in terms of placing, but he didn't necessarily have the hardest path. So how will he do without Cody? You'd think that if he got second here and Cody's not here, he should win this. How's that going to go? I don't know if Wizrobe's going to be here, so Zane doesn't have to worry about Wizrobe, but he might have to worry about Rammal, so we might see that run back here. There's just a lot of really exciting stuff, and Melee's in a good spot right now. I'm really happy about it. So if there's anything else that I missed, please let me know. I'll have a couple more videos coming out about this soon. But yeah, fun stuff. Long live Melee.